Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings to you. Looking forward towards you passing your real estate exam. My name is Brenda Kasuva. I am the administrator to the Facebook group page known as Pass the Real Estate Exam. In this particular conversation, we are going to be talking about legal description, which is found under the topic of property ownership on the PSI exams. For the people who are exposed to the Pearson view, it is under real property characteristics, legal descriptions, that part of it. Stay tuned. We shall go for about 20 minutes or less on that specific topic. Welcome. Property ownership. The topic of property ownership, as described, we are going to be going through the legal description methods that are used to pinpoint where the property is, where it starts, how far it goes, and where it ends. One of the methods is meets and bounds. The other method is governmental survey. And the last one is lot and block. Let's get you ready for this particular real estate exam. The real estate exam, you're exposed to two major testing facilities. The first one is PSI, found by you going to candidate.psiexams.com. When you're going to be registering for the exam, I believe it covers about 25 states. The other half, you're going to be exposed to Pearson View. Their website is helpful for both of the testing facilities, not only to schedule, but also to get the breakdown of the questions. When we start off to PSI, which is where I am biased because in Maryland, this is a testing facility that we are exposed to. This is a breakdown of the questions under the topic of property ownership. You need to have an idea about real versus personal property. Today, my focus is on the legal descriptions, the types of legal descriptions, meets and bounds, lot and block, and government survey. On this topic, you will also need to review that information, measuring structures, land measurements. So this is where you might have math questions that are going to review this particular topic. Mineral, air, and water rights. And then you get into encumbrances as well. When we get to also finish up, the other content that is presented here is types of ownership. You having a good understanding of the differences between, for example, joint tenancy and tenancy in common. Pearson View, the topic is labeled as real property characteristics, legal descriptions, and property use. This topic produces 9 questions on the Pearson View exam for the salesperson and the same amount of questions on the broker exam. Similar again, as you can see on the PSI side, a good understanding of real versus personal property, what makes it real property in terms of it stays with the property. It's whatever comes along with the property. Our focus today is on letter C, legal descriptions. It continues on for you to know about encumbrances and then private controls and restrictions that come along because of, for example, homeowners association. My name is Brenda Kasuva. I get you through passing the real estate exam. Let's connect on social media using my name, Brenda Kasuva, or Training with Brenda. Scanning the QR code on the right-hand side gives you access to my contact information, and you can share your contact information with me as well. I'd love to engage with you and take you through passing the real estate exam through a tutor session. And beyond the tutor session, we have sessions that can guide you when you have your real estate license. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you soon. Let's get into land descriptions. Under land description, when we are talking about legal description or land description, your property address is good just using the GPS or walking there or sending you something via the mail. When it comes to legal documents, like the deed that is used to transfer property, a mortgage, address is not enough. we need to find out where does the property start, how far does it go, and where does it end. So the three methods that we're going to be using, and this is usually done with the surveyor. You might have seen this tripod and people, as you're driving, they're trying to get measurements through the method of the survey. The three methods that the surveyor is going to be using is either the meets and bounds, the government or rectangular survey system, or the last one is lot and block. Let's start with the first one, meets and bounds. So meets and bounds, I love this image because if you were going to be hiking, or let's look at the movies, you have a treasure chest that you want to recover, you're going to be getting a map, it's going to tell you where you're going to start, what are your markers, where do you turn, north, west, east, or south. That's all going to be pointers for you to remember when you are going through a topic of meets and bounds. So meets and bounds, it's the oldest method that exists in terms of determining where the property starts, how far it goes, and where it ends. So it's going to outline the perimeter or the boundary of the property. The most important thing for exam purposes under meets and bounds is the point of beginning. Point of beginning is where you start, how far you go, where do you stop, where do you turn, up to what point, and then you have to come back to where you started. Point of beginning is the same spot where you're going to end. So point of beginning is your starting point and your end point in the description. So how do you know where you're going to stop, turn, and so forth? You're going to use what is referenced to as monuments. Monuments are things that the surveyor are going to use in order for them to know, okay, this is where I'm going to stop. I'll then turn, and then I'll go all the way to that marker or mile marker, and then I'll turn. So these are known as monuments or benchmarks. Let's show examples. With meets and bounds, yes, this is fuzzy. This is where your starting point could be the rock. So here it could be the rock, and then you're told what distance and how many feet or yards that you're going to go all the way to the oak tree. That's a monument, which direction you're going to turn all the way to that spring hill, and then all the way down to Jones Creek. So all of these are the monuments. Now, over time, we got advanced and started using the compass. So then you're being told which direction you're going to go using the compass. Over time, these monuments could change. Or if you're using a tree, for example, the tree could be chopped down. This creek could dry up as well, as an example. So over time, just like the way we developed and started using the compass, then we have what are known as benchmarks. Benchmarks are permanent. This is kind of what they look like. So these are also part of the meets and bounds method. So that's method one. Method two is going to be the rectangular survey. This one, the image reminds me, if you've ever experienced flying across the country, and you look out and it kind of looks as if everything is in rectangles. That's a visualization I'm going to be using for this particular method. It is also known as a government survey method. So rectangular survey method is also known as the government survey method. It uses two major lines, the principal meridian, which goes north-south, and the baseline, which goes east-west. So the principal meridians, for me, what makes it easier for myself to remember is this is like the longitude, and then the baseline is the latitude, east-west. Parallel to the principal meridian is what we know as range lines. So range lines are going north-south, they're parallel to the principal meridian. And then baselines, parallel to that is the township lines. How this all starts off is there's a map. This is what I found. So this is kind of giving you a visualization of the lines. If I point to your attention, for example, here you're being told that is the principal meridian, and then this is a baseline. Here's another fifth principal meridian. So this is the illustration we're going to start off with. The surveyor will pull up this map, and then we're going to start zooming in. So your reference point is a principal meridian and a baseline. Those are the major lines or intersecting lines for this particular method. So picture this, your referencing point is a starting point, is a principal meridian. The legal description will reference to a baseline. From there, range lines are parallel to the principal meridian. So this is what they look like. So I'm going to illustrate, let me go back. So these are the range lines parallel to the principal meridian. They are 6 miles apart. Parallel to the baseline is the township lines or township tiers. They're also 6 miles apart. Where they intersect, you're going to form a square known as a township. This square, how big is it? So it's 6 miles wide, 6 miles long. That ends up being 36 square miles. And inside the township are 36 sections, each section being a square mile. This is where you might pause and review that again. We start off with the principal meridian and a baseline. Parallel to the left or to the right of the principal meridian are range lines, 6 miles apart. Parallel to the baseline is the township line or township tiers, and those are 6 miles apart as well. It forms a square, which is known as a township. It has 36 sections. Each section is a square mile or 640 acres. Section 16 is known as the school section. The third method is lot and block. Lot and block, this one in summary, it's also known as recorded plat. For the states, so some states will only use 2 methods. For example, Maryland, we only use meets and bounds and lot and block. Other states might use lot and block and maybe government survey system or meets and bounds and government survey system. For test purposes, hopefully this was a great review for you to get started and master the legal descriptions, the 3, meets and bounds, rectangular survey, and lot and block. We thank you for watching. Take the time to subscribe, turn on the alerts as we continue building this particular library, share with others. I'll see you next time.
That was awesome, right? You like our style? I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam. We offer group coaching sessions on a monthly basis, and we also have tutor sessions that would match your availability. Show the love. Go ahead and subscribe. Put your comments in the video here, and we shall respond. Go ahead and like, share it with your friends. I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam.